I really miss my wife, Natalie. Our home felt quiet when she was away. For 3 days, she had been calling me from a hotel in Chicago. She would tell me how tired she was from long work meetings and how much she missed being home with me. On Friday, I did something special. I booked a flight and bought a beautiful bouquet of flowers. I wanted to surprise her. I kept picturing her smile when she opened the door to see me there. Instead, when the door finally opened, her face went pale. She stared at me as if I were a total stranger she didn't know. Her eyes moved past my shoulder toward the long hallway. She whispered, "Why are you here?" I laughed a little bit nervously. I held out the flowers and said, "Because I missed you. I thought you would like a surprise." She barely even looked at them. Her hands were shaking as she stood in the doorway, blocking my view of the room. "You should have told me," she said quickly. Her voice sounded wrong. I had expected her to be excited, but she looked like she was in a panic. Then I heard a man's voice from somewhere inside the room. "Who is it, Natalie?" he asked. My wife's face changed right away. She grabbed my arm and pulled me into the hallway, shutting the door behind her fast. "Please," she whispered, "don't make a scene." That was the exact moment my heart sank. Who was inside that room? I asked. Natalie looked toward the elevator and then back at me. "Nobody important," she answered. "He is nobody important." Those few words hurt me more than any truth could have. I tried to step toward the door, but she blocked me again. "It's just Daniel from the accounting office," she said. "We were just discussing a presentation for tomorrow." I knew who Daniel was. He worked in a different department and had never traveled with her. I remembered that Natalie had mentioned him several times lately. She talked about him often, giving reasons I hadn't even asked for. Suddenly, every strange detail from the past month started to make sense. Natalie begged me to leave. She promised to explain, but I stayed. I told her I had trusted her completely and deserved her honesty. She started to cry, then finally opened the door. There was only a heavy silence inside the room. Daniel looked at me and then at Natalie. He knew the secret they had been keeping had fallen apart. I didn't shout. Staying quiet somehow made the room feel even more still. I asked Natalie one simple question. "How long has this been going on?" She lowered her head and whispered, 6 months. 6 months of lies, pretending her trips were for work, while I believed every word. Daniel tried to explain that they had fallen in love, but I told him to stop. I asked Natalie if she planned to tell me when she got home. She started crying even harder. Then Daniel revealed something she had never told me. This was not their first trip together. They had traveled secretly 2 times before, staying in different hotels. The proof was right there. The next morning, I called a lawyer to protect myself before I spoke to her again. Natalie eventually came home. She was expecting tears, loud arguments, and for me to forgive her. Instead, she found divorce papers sitting on the dining table. She stared at them for a long time before asking, "Are you really ending everything because of one mistake?" I answered, 6 months of lying is not one mistake. She fell into a chair in the room and admitted everything. She said Daniel made her feel special and our marriage felt routine. I listened because blaming me was easier for her than taking responsibility. Then I asked if she wanted to save our marriage. She said yes, but I had already realized the truth. I missed a woman. I thought she was not the woman standing in front of me. I packed my things. Natalie cried and begged for another chance. I told her that forgiveness might come one day, but I could not trust her now. She had broken that trust a long time ago. Months later, the divorce was final. Natalie and Daniel ended their relationship, too. A friend told me they didn't last. As for me, I moved into a small apartment and rebuilt my life slowly. Sometimes I wonder what if I had never surprised her. Then I realized the truth. Finding out the betrayal hurt, but living inside a lie would have hurt much more. My surprise trip was meant to show my wife how I loved her. Instead, it showed me where our marriage stood. I had arrived with flowers and left with something better. I left with freedom and clarity.